Hello and welcome to the special edition of the Yorkshire Kitchen, the show that celebrates the best local food and produce. Today I'm in Wetherby at the town's very first food festival. Over 80 food and drink companies from across the county have come here to showcase their produce. There's a vintage fun fair, children cookery classes, live music, as well as a feast of foods from around the world. I'll be selecting locally produced ingredients from two fantastic food producers here today to take back and prepare in the kitchen for a special Yorkshire dish. Today's Yorkshire kitchen recipe is something fresh, vibrant and summery. I'm going to get the ingredients today from our fresh producers. This looks wonderful. Can you tell me about the Sawley kitchen?
Everything is done by hand. We don't use any plant machinery at all, so everything you see is rolled by us, is scooped by us by the thousands, believe me. Mixed, rolled, cut, peeled, chopped, anything that goes in is done by our hands. No machinery. Everybody at the bakehouse loves what we do. We know about food and therefore it really is shown by the quality of the produce.
So, I've already got my all butter shortbread. I need to add just a little bit of extra flavour. Can you suggest anything for me?
St Wilfrid's actually, apple and cinnamon will go really well. It's quite a warming flavour.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
This all looks amazing. How do you farm this amazing produce?
We farm only a few miles from here and we do deliveries throughout the north of England. We actually grow over 50 different varieties of fruit and vegetables on the farm. And so it's just great for us coming today because we can actually explain to people that the local farm is local food just on their doorstep.
How do you get this out to the public? Do you do delivery boxes?
We actually grow the bulk of our produce from seed. And then we also distribute and do box scheme, and so we deliver it throughout the north of England. So we do boxes and make up boxes and deliver to people's homes. So a lot of our customers have been with us for about 10, 12 years, and so we've got a really good relationship with them. And they've helped the organic pantry evolve.
That fruit box looks amazing. Do you think I'll be able to use that for my tart?
Yeah, by all means. I look forward to seeing you doing something with that.
Time to start cooking my fresh fruit tart. For starters, I'll be getting the biscuits ready. So what I'm going to be doing, we're making our base here. So we're putting both the all butter shortbread and the apple and cinnamon shortbread that we were given earlier, and we'll get them in the bag ready. But before we do that, we need to get the butter melted, so then we can infuse that into our biscuit. So we've been putting 200 grams of butter into the saucepan here. We're putting it on a very slow boil. We don't want to burn it, we just want to melt it down. It should be at room temperature and should take no longer than a couple of minutes. While the butter there is melting, what we're going to do is be getting our shortbread base ready. Now with shortbread, the nicer and the finer the shortness of the biscuit itself is the easier this is. As you can tell, this is quite good quality and it's very, very simple to break down. The biscuits are ready to go, so essentially all we're doing now is we're waiting for the butter. So what we'll do is we'll prep our tart tin. Simply to do that, rather than waste any paper towel or anything, just use the butter or the packaging that the butter came in and just roll it around. So now it's time to start getting this base ready. Now, if you've noticed there's just a few little chunks, doesn't matter. All right, it's about enjoying your cooking, and it's allowed to be a little bit rustic. That's what cooking is all about. It's making it your own. Now, because of the high butter content within this shortbread, we're going to add bits at a time of butter until we've got the right consistency. Okay, so there's no set measurement of butter. It all goes on feel, and that's how cooking should be anyway. So give it a quick stir. And I'm only putting in half at this stage, which I think would be close to enough. So now if you look at that consistency, it is still like breadcrumb. There's a couple of little balls forming, to which the best way to check, give it a squeeze, holds together, it's set. That's all that we need, so literally half of the initial butter. Now it's getting it in. Now what we're doing is we're pressing the biscuit base in. Now it's really important to get a nice compact base. If you don't, and you go to cut it up, it'll just fall apart. Okay, so that's all complete now. What we're going to do is put it into a fridge or just a cool area and get the butter to set, and then you've got a nice solid base there. Okay, we've got the tart in the fridge. Let's make our crème pâtissière. This one is going to be not your traditional crème pâtissière. We're going to add a little, flair. That's what we do. So we're going to separate our egg yolks. With this one, we're making a relatively small tart, so we're looking at possibly about 3 egg yolks, and that should be enough. There's various ways to separate egg yolks. Traditional way here. Other than the traditional way, literally just separate your fingers a little bit. Feel like that. And there you go. Okay. Now what we have to do is get the rest of the crème pâtissière ready. Get a pot, some whole fresh milk, and a splash. Then more of a splash, and that's it. Okay. Get a vanilla pod. Slice it down the middle. Doesn't matter if it's right in the middle, just as long as it's cut and you can allow the seeds to come out. Alright. So what we're doing here is we're trying to infuse the milk. Okay. Another thing that we can add on as well, just to make it a bit more summery, a little bit of fruit. Right. Simple. Put it on the stove there. Alright, very important thing also is just to get it to a very light boil. So just as soon as it starts to boil, turn it back and keep it on that heat. You don't want it to boil. So what we're going to do now is add our thyme. Okay, thyme and fruit is an amazing combination. It's not used very often, but it is nice. So all you have to do is just take a few strands, literally just pull it down your fingers. It never works for me. Little bunch, and then straight into the saucepan. Okay? Now this is the difficult part, all right? You have to pick up the egg yolks and place them into the bowl. Well done. Okay, now we're going to have our whisker ready, a little bit of sugar. Now, with perfect measurements, you need about that, okay? All right, we whisk it up. Okay, really nice and pale now. You let it sit, and there'll be a few bubbles just starting to come up. That's when you know you got it right. With the flour, what you have to do, very, 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 very carefully measure it out, okay? Give it a stir, it'll come nice and thick. Okay, ribbon-like. And that's how it should look now. Alright, what we're going to do now is we'll get this infused milk. It should be absolutely beautiful by now. We'll grab a bowl, our sieve, sit it on top, just give it a little shake. There should be a little bit of skin just on top, don't worry about it. Colander will get rid of that. Just pour it in, okay, allow it to drip through. Now it's time to add the milk into our egg yolk mixture. So literally just a little bit at a time. It's important. Smell, taste, feel. All right. Okay, so that's all done now. So we'll just remove what we've already strained out. back there into the saucepan. And on a low heat. It's important to note that you just keep it on a low heat. Stir it slowly. If you do it too hot and too quick, you'll end up with scrambled eggs, and it's not very nice. So once it's thickened, then it literally just goes into the fridge and it sets. Fruit ready for the tart, which is going to be more refined cuts, a lot neater, all for presentation. So that's all there. Now we've got our other fruit. This is for the sauce. All right. It doesn't have to be neat. It doesn't have to be tidy. It's literally just as long as we get the flavors of the fruit. What we also have to do is just add a bit of thyme. Grab a bunch. Place it in there. Add some caster sugar. So essentially what we're doing is a runny sort of caramel sauce. So all we're doing is we're just trying to add. We're adding now to the tart. That's all we're trying to do. The tart should be absolutely fresh and beautiful. This is just going to be that little bit of cheeky sweetness that every good tart needs. Best thing to do here is not to force it, okay? Just let it work. The slower it does it, the slower it breaks down, the more flavor comes in. We can see just a few little bubbles starting to come up with the sugar. Once we see that, then we just turn it down just a touch. The sugar's almost all melted now. Add a touch of water. And this just helps move the flavors around. While that's simmering away, I'm going to go and get my creme patissiere and my tart, and we can make this. Okay, now we've got our creme patissiere back, and we've got our tart case ready. We've literally got to finish our sauce, just a little bit of butter, and then it'll be finished. The reason that we're putting the butter on is it gives the sauce a little bit of a sheen, and then you get a very, very subtle nutty taste. And it's just going to boil away just a little bit and we can prepare our tart. That's delicious. You can see details of today's recipe and find out more about some of the local ingredients you've seen today on our webpage, localkitchen.tv. Now it's time to taste. Hey Johnny, Julie, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. So this has been the first Wetherby Food Festival. It looks amazing. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, it's great. Well, we've had over 4,000 people come through the gate today, and it's going on for another few hours until 10 o'clock. So yeah, it's been really good. Sun's been out and it's been fantastic.
What I've made here is just a fresh fruit tart using the produce that we've had here at the food festival. Just hoping if you might want to try it.
No, that'd be great.
Really tasty, so fresh. That is absolutely delicious.
So, Johnny, Julie, how did you like it?
Absolutely divine.
Excellent, really nice, fresh produce.
Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it. You can see more details on our website. See you next time for more Yorkshire Kitchen. Bye.
Bye.